What's up, guys? We are live. Hopefully we're live. Sorry about that. We are having a lot of technical difficulties on my end on getting this stream up and ready to go, but I think I finally figured it out, and if I didn't, well, I don't know what to say then. But here we are. We're live. Here's CGMX Rose out here. Pete's in the booth tonight. I don't even know where to start now, Pete. We're already 2 laps into this race, man. We didn't get a booth. We didn't get picks. We don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, it was, things happen, you know, it's after the holidays, kind of working the gremlins out of the equipment. Hey, yeah, we're back live. Like you said, CGMX Rose is in a clear lead. He's got he's got half a turn on second place so far. I've got a few different streams up, ready for these guys to take it on and see if they can follow what the Trucks and Xfinity guys have done already this week.
Yeah, and if I get a check out there, Pete, in the chat just to make sure our volumes are right, at least something might go right tonight once we got this thing going green underway. And just get to the quick racing real quick out here on track. We've already completed about 3 laps out of 55 to be completed. It looks like CGMX Rose has the race lead by a long shot. I don't even see anybody else out on the track currently.
Yeah, right now CGMX Rose has that huge lead. Yeah, he's going through the last bit of the inner loop, coming back out onto the normal track, and there's just nobody anywhere around him. I don't know if there was a bottleneck at the start or what happened, but yeah, he's sailing away right now. It's almost like he's got the whole track to himself, just running a qualifying lap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you look around him, you don't even see anybody about him. But here's an interesting story, that I've heard, Pete, sorry. And I'm going to get a lot of names wrong tonight, especially with being off 2 weeks here in the NNR series. I mean, good Lord, new faces, new places at the Charlotte Roval, that is. But I heard something interesting, Pete. This 24 car, Coey, apparently is a strong car tonight at the Roval. I expect him to contend for a top 5 position, what I'm hearing. Here he is right now, running currently in front of the 13 of Rowdy, who is also very strong.
Yeah, talking about the 24 and the 13, it's kind of funny how they're back-to-back right now. They are actually new teammates. More Smoke, Rowdy, and the Aviator kind of at odds for some reason over the holiday break. So Rowdy is now with Coey, he's with Silent Killer, he's with Knights, and he's with James Kamal. So that should be an amazing team. But earlier in the practice, like you just said, Coey was putting down faster times than the likes of Ingalls and a few others. So I definitely look for that 24 to be really strong tonight.
Yeah, moving through the field here just a bit. Here's the 88 of Dohar under big-time pressure from the 1. He's down on the inside as they come out of turn 4. Down into the chicane. The 1's going to dive it down in there. Squeezed by the 88 of Dohar's. Dohar slaps the wall, and Pete, I'm seeing a lot of right-side damage early on a lot of cars.
Yeah, coming out through that last inner loop, a lot of cars are really catching some big air, and they're not able to catch the grip back in the car yet. They're coming up, or they're washing up, smacking that mid-tri-oval wall and trying to get back in the gas, and it's just not happening. The same thing was happening during the Truck and Xfinity races, but if you're going to be fast, you got to be able to hit those turtles just right, and you got to be able to control your car.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up some other streams up here as well, as get some more information rolling. But yep, there's CGMX Rose. He's got about a 30 car length lead. I'm gonna go ahead and say, looks like sitting P2 though might be the Aviator. Not too sure if anybody's behind him, just because Rose is just so far ahead of the field. Yep, Aviator's going to be sitting P2 behind Aviator. Starting to look like it might be, I know they said, what's his name? He's pretty fast out here, Ingalls today.
Yep. Ingalls was, when he was practicing with Coey earlier, he was going to have a car to compete. But you mentioned the Aviator sitting P2. Aviator ran the Xfinity race, and he put on a clinic. I mean, so much so at the end, he was hitting the turtles to see how high he can get. I mean, he won by like 17 seconds. So if Aviator's able to transfer any of that knowledge of what he learned during that race into the Cup race, Aviator may be the one to watch later on. In fact, you know what, HD, we weren't able to do that because of some the startup issues that we had. I'm actually going to go ahead and take that 48 for tonight. Who do you got, sir?
I'm going to go with the 20 of CGMX Rose. I mean, story in the pits is this kid is hand down the fastest out here. Only thing that's going to stop him tonight from getting a win is lag, in my opinion. If he lags out, hopefully he doesn't lag out. I know I've jinxed people in the past before saying this, but I think CGMX Rose is going to get it done. He's going to get that win at the Charlotte Roval.
It's very possible. He's missed a few races. I'm sure he's glad to be back in the car. I'm sorry, I'm not thinking of CGMX Rose. I was thinking of Jose 720. Jose's actually back in the field. Back, strong internet, ready to go. He's got a lot of points to make up. You might see the 43 of Jose 720 try to be a little aggressive tonight, maybe pit on the track. Who knows?
Right. But, speaking of Ingalls, we talked about Ingalls in 11 a little bit ago, that he's also one of the favorites out here to win a race. He was actually currently sideways at the start-finish line about 2 laps ago. Couldn't really mention it yet because I'm still trying to get my bearings together. I'm still trying to get my phone set up, my iPad set up to get this information streaming in live so we can try and bring a great broadcast. But Ingalls with heavy front-end damage on his car, so we missed the start, but I guarantee you Ingalls had a rough going at the beginning because he finds himself towards the back of the pack. There he is, slapping the wall just a bit as he's ready to enter back onto the oval part of the Roval. Yes, that's the Vol part, not the row part. Whoa part here. Here he goes in turns 1 through turns 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, I tell you what, another one that's really, really struggling. It's kind of surprising, although he did say he wasn't going to be very good tonight, and that's the 42 of Amore Smoke. A week in and week out favorite. Right now, he's sitting back in 17th, right around the likes of Silent Killer, Kamal, Jose 720, and Natty Dread. That's actually 15th through 19th, but the 42's got a hood full of damage. He's going through one of these inner loops right now, and he's driving that thing very, very gingerly.
Yeah, when you think of Amore Smoke, he's not necessarily the best road racer out there. Now, you go to an oval track, Amore Smoke's going to be out there contending for a win every single week. And I'm currently trying to scroll through, find him. Yep, there he is right here. Good Lord, look like his car's been through the junkyard about 1 or 2 times. But, yeah, he's going down through the road part now, through the oval part, the Roval part. Yeah, that's the road part. There he is coming down about turn 3 around this sweeping right-hand turn. And, Pete, this turn right here can be very tricky if you're getting up on the curves, especially right here on the exit. It kicks out quite loose.
Oh, yeah, it kicks out quite loose. I actually heard that some of these guys were experimenting with a preset 9. I mean, I know that you need back end to slide out, but 9 is... it's as loose as the cars can be set up. Plus, they were loosening them up even more in the pits to try to get the cars to really swing, almost like try to get the rear end to step out, like you might see at a Kansas or a Michigan or any of these other tracks where it kind of just kicks at the exit of the corner. So if they're really having to do that, this Roval is tight.
I mean, it very well could be, Pete. I'll be honest with you. I haven't really raced. I don't think I've raced a single road race on NASCAR Heat 4 yet. I've been kind of venturing out to other games out there. But, I mean, if they're preset 9, good Lord. I mean, that's very high up there. That's as high as you can go as far as looseness. So, yeah, maybe these guys are more or less fighting a tight condition like you just said, especially coming through these chicanes. It's a little tricky, especially with this wall right here on the left so people can't cut the track. And when you're trying to avoid that, I've seen a lot of people smack that outside wall coming down the front stretch across the start finish.
Yeah, it's all about them, hitting those turtles in that last chicane before they get to the front stretch, and they're all hitting it like square on. Instead of just with the left side of the car, they're trying to straighten out that last bit of the turn so much that they can't control the car hasn't even landed yet, and they're causing more damage than they probably need to. Sometimes the old adage, you got to slow down to go fast. That might just be what they've got to do in order to keep their car in one piece tonight.
Yeah, but so far, the man of the hour, the man with probably the only clean car out on track is this 20 of CGMX Rose again. He's your current race leader. take a look behind him as he comes back out onto the oval part and turns 1 and 2, heading down a backstretch, and I see nobody in his rear view as he comes down to this chicane. Still no one in his sight, Pete. Oh, there he is, coming out turn 2 now as he enters the chicane.
Yeah, I mean, he has that whole, I mean, from NASCAR 1 and 2 all the way down I'm sorry, 3 and 4 all the way down the front. There's nobody. I mean, he is all by his lonesome. He could, short of the stage breaks, I think the only cars he's gonna see are the ones that he's trying to put a lap down.
And even with that, when he's trying to put cars a lap down, you know they're going to be battling for every single spot, because getting your lap back on the lead lap is going to be very challenging, because these guys necessarily don't have to pit that much. I mean, I've heard that they only need to pit possibly one time in that final stage. That means they're going to go green all the way through stage 1. They're going to go green all the way through stage 2. So for them to stay on the lead lap and get back on the lead lap is going to be very minimal. And especially if there being no cautions.
Yeah, absolutely. They wanted to try out the no caution. They were kind of curious about the braking points. Really haven't seen too many issues in the truck in Xfinity. I mean, were there some trucks or cars around? Yeah, there were. But because this track is so narrow, I don't know if it actually would have brought out the cautions. You slide off into the grass, you're off the track. If you're over on the opposite side of the rumble strips, you're off the track. I don't really think the cautions would have flown as much as some might have thought they would, but it definitely some great racing all week long.
Oh, definitely some awesome racing. I've tuned in a couple of your races, a couple of rockets. I tuned into the truck race there you were doing. And only that, man, you're doing it by yourself, so shout out to you. I would hate broadcasting by myself. It is something I do not want to do. I'd probably call out myself if I had to do it. I think stage 1 is over.
I was just about wondering the same thing, because I saw Dohar slow up. I was him see how he was doing.
Dohar's, it's definitely over. Stage 1 is over. Good Lord Almighty,
yep.
Stage 1's already over here at the Charlotte Roval, and I'm loving it because I hate right turns.
Well, you know what, HD, though? We missed the beginning. We're going to be able to be there for the start of the stage 2, where they're going to rack them and stack them. These guys are going to have full fuel, 4 brand new Mr. Feelgoods. That 20 car is going to be caught, so it's going to be like a brand new race for us.
Yeah, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and bring it to the brand new booth. Not really brand new booth. I literally have to redo everything as far as scenes goes, because I moved all my pictures and it screwed up OBS. I spent 2 hours fixing everything. But look right here. Here's a preview of the new booth to be. And obviously this is not going to be the same thing next week, so I want to add a few more things. But look, there's Pete right there interviewing a nice Dale Earnhardt bear. And there's me with my poop emoji hat. Shout out to my sisters, because they think I'm a complete shithead. And I got a poop emoji hat on with the mic as well. It's going to get back here to the race. And I love it, Pete.
Oh man, I tell you that I've had that. That's a Boyd's bear that I got right when Dale Senior passed, and man, that's right. There's no pace lap. We are back green already, HD.
Yeah, we're back green, and CJ Rose finds himself in some traffic with the 48 of the Aviator out in front of him. There's that 13 of Rowdy, and I don't know, is that the 12 car or the 21 car? There's 2 yellow cars. I can't tell them apart, but if that's the 12 of Knights, what a run so far here, running inside the top 5.
Yeah, Knights ran that 93 Xfinity car the other night, and at the end of stage 1, he was actually sitting P3. So Knights not really all that known for getting around these road courses. He might have a strong night. We'll have to wait and see how he fares.
You know, I joked with him a little bit before the race start as Rose was looking low there down into the bus stop, turned down a backstretch, thought better of it, but here he is with a hell of a run off the corner, out to turn 3, taps the wall just a bit there, side by side, Pete, coming through turns 3 and 4.
Oh, man, HD, they are all over the place. They're going to try to keep these guys straight. 31 cars on track. I know we didn't get a chance to cover that. I'm trying to keep up with all the same action that you're seeing. Man, a little bit of contact there. I'm trying to see exactly who this guy is. The 8 is Smitty and the 37 of Pro Viper. Kind of mixing it up a little bit. But but they were able to both keep it pointed the right way. Looks like the 9 of Carroll got a bit of a course
Pete,
penalty.
I would have tipped you off, but the 48 spins it around in front of the CGMX Rose. 48 with heavy damage. CGMX Rose back to the race lead. 13 around. He's sitting P2, and I think the 12 Knights is still P3 back there. Let's go back here as he's under heavy pressure from the One of God Power.
Trying to catch up to, there we go. Yep, One of God Power. He got the 21. That's actually JCX 12, and I think, yeah, that's the 12 of Knights right behind him. Then you got the 35 of Dan the Lawn Man, 48 of the Aviator, and who's this other? I think that's the 37 of Pro Viper.
Yeah, 37 of Pro Viper back there. There's a lot of cars. There's that 48 of the Aviator, though. He finally gets himself caught up. He's in the second pack as the 12 of Knights dove that thing down in there until he saw Jesus, and that did not work out for him because he smacked that inside wall, comes back out on the track, and he's easily going to lose 10 spots.
Yeah, you got to keep it on the track, and this game has not been very stingy about handing out those course penalties. That was another thing we didn't really get a chance to talk about. If you get a course penalty, it will stop you anywhere on the track. The game feels like stopping you. So if it stops you dead center of the racing surface, well, guess what? There's a big chance you're about to get collected, and you're gonna not only ruin your night, but possibly somebody else's as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those tracks. I mean, road courses, there's only so many different lines you can take. Majority, there's only one line, and it's the fast line, right? No, it's not like a 2-groove track. Yeah, some parts might be 2 grooves, bring it back to corner up, get a good runoff, but these guys are so far spread apart at the moment, it's all basically 1 groove.
Yeah, because of the inner loop, the chicanes, the way you have to set your car up to get through the trial. I mean, it really is very 1 groove oriented, and it's like a 2.5 mile track, and to have to really watch where you're going the entire way around, it's very technical as well.
Oh, it's very technical as we're looking up to the race lead here. CGMX Rose has got about a 10 car length lead, slowly starting to launch it there. He got the grass, got a little bit of loose. Rowdy's going to take advantage of that, close it down just a bit. But it's not going to be enough because this 20 car is on rails, and he is checking out the horn on the zip code.
Yeah, it looks like Rowdy might have been able to make up a little bit of time on him right there. When the 20 got into NASCAR 1, he actually drifted up and caught a little bit of the wall, and 13 has definitely closed up. It also looks like 13's been able to close up a little bit in these braking zones as well. So the 20, while he has the lead right now, that 13's hunting.
He's hunting, but he's going to need this 20 car to make a huge mistake or something if he's going to want a chance at catching up to him. Because, look, this is well over 10 car lengths now as they come to the final chicane down the front stretch. Rowdy might tap that outside wall there just a bit. But let's go and get some other people love. Here's that 1 car, God Power, currently sitting P3. He's got that 48 car, the Aviator, who was sitting P1, spun out there through the road part of the Roval, the Robart. Got a little loose, got a little goosey, but he finds himself in a decent position after that sitting P4.
Yeah, I was going through the same as you, and I was right there on the 1 of God Power. God Power's actually been he's kind of taken it upon himself to mentor some of these guys that are coming up through the Xfinity and the Truck Series. For example, one that you might have noticed in the streams a bit more, Chaos Outlaw. Him and God Power have really been working together very well to get him ready for his introduction into NNR. And we were talking about, how to make it up through and whatnot. These guys are the best of the best. Anybody that wants to come up through Xfinity and trucks, they're going to have to be able to challenge these guys.
Oh, yeah, I mean, these the best default league out there, in my opinion. No one's going to touch it. And remarkably, the best league out there, no one's going to touch it as far as racing-wise goes. I mean, they're all very talented. They're all up here for a reason. I mean, we say it every single week. Hats off to these drivers. Much respect to all of them.
Yeah, hands down, the best default league, period. I thought Knights had told me that he was going to be streaming early. I was trying to find his point of view. I haven't been able to yet. He might have actually killed his stream. Maybe it was lagging a bit, not quite sure. But I do have More Smokes and the 9 of Carroll. Right now, More Smoke is sitting 22nd, and the 20 the Augustus is sitting 20th. Heated Snowman is 21st. More Smoke 22nd. Mountaineers, relatively newcomer to the Cup Series, he's sitting 23rd, and Outlaw is sitting 24th. Carroll is 25th, Striker's 26th, and Sweeterfeed's back there in 27th. Looks like he's about 18 laps down. He's been sitting in the pits for a while.
Yeah, it's really right along with it. I tell you what, this 9 car is looking mighty clean, though. The 9 car of Carroll, as he comes through the chicane part down a front stretch, he's going to hit that mighty perfectly. Taps the wall there just a bit on the outside, but still looking good. As it looks like he's got the 1 of God Power right on his tracks. God Power trying to get past Carroll, so Carroll is currently a lap down. And Pete, we said it earlier, you do not want to find yourself in this situation, because if you are not the lucky dog, this is already stage 2. You will not get back on the lead lap.
No, you won't. And I mentioned cars getting stopped on the track for a course penalty. The 21 of JCX12 just really caused a whole lot of damage to the front end of that 2 of Stout Whiskey, as JC was stopped right at the start-finish line. He must have caught some serious air coming through, and yeah, the game put him right there. It's not the best circumstance for these guys right now.
Yeah, and go back to the race leader. CJ Max Rosen is battle for the race lead. I would like to say it's a battle for the race lead. CJ Max Rosen is 20. Toyota Camry Stanley Machines got well over a back stretch straightaway on the 13 on the Rowdy. So 13 on the Rowdy starting to drop back just a bit. He's still got quite a good distance, though, on the 1 of God Power, as he's got about the same distance between him and Rose.
Yeah, the last time we were on CGMX Rose, we were able to see the 13. Now he's, pretty much nowhere in sight. And when I mentioned earlier about slowing down, hitting those turtles in that last chicane just before the start-finish line, he's hitting those with just the lefts, and then the rights getting into the chicane, and then just the lefts coming out. He's not even getting anywhere near the wall at start-finish line, and he's able to make that clear turn into turn 1. He hasn't made contact with any of the walls in the last lap and a half that I've at least been on him. So he's clearly showing the way that this track needs to be driven.
I think in a few laps here, though, about 4 to 5 laps, if we don't catch the end of the stage by then, I think this 48 is actually starting to slowly reel in the 1 of God Power. Was watching him as they coming down into this back chicane. This is a sharp, hard left turner with a little right-hander, little even low off. Doesn't have that big wall there like on last year's game, so it's pretty even keel coming off into turn 3.
Yeah, I was talking to a lot of the drivers about that over these last couple of weeks when they've been able to practice, and they were glad that in the Heat 4 update that wall was gone, because it caused a lot of havoc last time here.
Well, we were talking about it, the 48 of the Aviator was slowly starting to reel in the 1 of God Power. Well, he is there because the 1 of God Power slapped that outside wall coming out of the last chicane. Now they go through the road course section. We're going to stay on the front bumper of the 40 of the Aviators. He's going to close the gap just a bit more with a good launch off the corner right here into this long sweeping right-hand turn.
Yeah, long sweeping right-hand turn at 48 is definitely closing. It's really going to be about how the 1 of God Power is going to be able to get through this last little chicane coming just before the start-finish line. And he's slowing down. Got the 48 is closing up ever more as they're back on the NASCAR track. Again into this braking zone.
Yeah, this is where Aviator looks to be making up a ton of time, because here he is. Wow. He's going to dive it down in, touches right rear panel. Aviator, I think, checked out of it. He might have realized he dove it in there just a tad too hard. But as we come into the next chain, where we saw God Power make his mistake, Last lap, let's watch right here. Aviator back in the corner up just a bit. Anticipating him making a mistake. Doesn't happen. God Power extends the lead up to 7 car lengths.
Yeah, God Power really hit those hit the turtles in that last chicane very well. He didn't lose control. Car didn't slap the wall, come through the center of the tri-oval, and put about another 2 lengths on that 48 of the Aviator.
Now, Pete, did we get a car count actually out there for tonight's race? Is it about 27 cars, I'd say? 25?
They started with 31, and with a couple DNFs, I believe we're down to about 28.
So there we are, Pete. There are 31 cars out on track tonight. Don't let my point standings fool you. It only goes up to 16 because I literally had to redo every single graphic about 2 hours before this race started. Getting the race started was a whole fiasco as well. So it didn't start well, but hopefully it'll end well. Your current race leader out here on track is going to be the 20 of CGMX Rose. Can't even see him in the picture. 13 of Rowdy sitting P2, and the battle for P3 is heating up because that 48 of the Aviator is still on the bumper of the 1 of God Power.
Yeah, that 48's been stalking this one car lap after lap, and it's really all been about who's been able to get through the braking zones better.
Stage 2 is over.
Yep, saw him kind of come to a close right there. So now these guys will have to make a green flag pit stop, at least one. One of the changes that they made before going into the holiday break is they went from 2 times wear to 3 times wear. So will it be making two stops or maybe 1 stop? And if they're running a little short on gas, maybe just a splash and go. We'll have to see. But they didn't have to make any stops that time around unless it was just to repair damage.
And if you can let me know where J. Paul is, we got a J. Paul fan out there saying, "Hey man, what's J. Paul doing right now?" Currently got the camera on him. He's behind the 4 car of Natty Dread. Not really too sure.
J. Paul right now is
positions.
Yep, right now J. Paul is sitting P16.
There we go, P16 at the Roval, baby. Final stage, about to go green here as we get our pit stops underway. Well, we're about to flick on over as the 20 car of CGMX Rose is still going to be your race leader. 13 on the Rowdy on the outside, and green flags in the air here yet again at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hashtag Roval as they fall down into turn 1.
Yeah, CGMX Rose taking him into the 1. You got the 13 right on his tail. You got the 48 of the Aviator. He's definitely made up a couple spots. There's the 1 car of God Power, and sitting P5 right there was the 24 car of Coe. You mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, Coe's got a strong chance to get a top 5 finish this week at the Roval. Has been putting in a lot of practice out there during the 2-week break. Battle currently going on right now for 3rd place as the 48 of the Aviator is going to sneak by that 1 of God Power, but God Power is going to look out because that 24 car, Coe's looking to move up another spot to P4 as well.
Yeah, in all the practice times that these guys were posting, the 24 Coe is actually the first one to get into the 16s and then break the 15-second mark. So yeah, he's got a hot rod, and his car is very consistent. So I look for Coe to be able to possibly get up past this 1, challenge the 48. I'm actually looking for Coe to be in the booth with us at the end of this race tonight at HD.
That is definitely the sights, man. I mean, we've seen the 1 make a mistake. We've seen the 48 mistake. And there's the 1 making a mistake right there. Huge mistake. He's going to caught up on the wall. He might have a penalty. Not really too sure. He's going to drop well outside the top 20, though.
Yep, that was that break that the 24 needed. So now the 24's got a little bit of space between him and the 48 of the Aviator. He can, for next couple laps, he can run his race and really try to track. Actually, he's behind the 13 now. He can try to track that 13 down, and then they'll have to deal with the 48 of the Aviator.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. The Aviator snuck by the 13 of Rowdy while the 1 car was taking his venture through the grass head first into that safer barrier wall. Thank God for safer barriers because he smacked that thing. But as these guys come out down the backstretch, CGMX Rose, still your race leader. Do not foresee that change at all because this kid's already got about this whole straightaway entering to the chicane.
Well, I tell you what, if you catch up with the 42 of Amore Smoke, he's actually under battle by 3 wide behind him. You got the 22 with J-Pa. You have the 11 of Ingalls, and then the 4 of Natty Dread was right there with him as well. Big battle going on.
And these guys single file out, but they are 2 wide back here. Let's get with here. Here's that 8 car of Smitty on the inside. The 38 of Mountaineers. There's that 00 of Augustus. 40 of Outlaw. 4 cars all around each other, hitting through the last chicane. 40's going to tap the 00. It looks like the 22 was spinning around with a 42. Couldn't really get a car number on that. That messed up the not the 30. It messed up somebody. I think it was the 40 of Outlaw.
Yeah, 40 of Outlaw looks like he might have a little bit of lag. I'm not sure if he actually hit the one and somebody else hit him and kind of straightened him back out again. But he was definitely nose first into that wall for a little bit.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, that was the 22 that kind of blocked him up.
Yeah, the 22. Is that the 22 was into the inside wall?
Yep, that was the 22 with J-Pa.
That's a tough break for him. Here he is off the track yet again. So the Roval is not treating J-Paul and his fans well tonight.
Let's see. Yeah, J-Pa actually sent out a tweet earlier saying that, it wasn't quite the track that he wanted to come to coming off of the holiday break, but glad to be getting it done with. And there's still another 15 weeks or something like that before we start the chase, so whole lot of time to make up some points.
Well, Pete, a lot of that was going on. This 24 car actually snuck by the 13 of Rowdy, so the 24 of Coey currently sitting P3 in the last stage. He's got about a 10 car length lead on that 13 of Rowdy, so I think if he can keep it smooth, he can keep it consistent. As the Aviator gets in the grass up here, he might be able to pick up a P2.
Yeah, I'm on. I can't talk right now. I am on the 24 of Cody, and he is whipping that car around. He is all over the place. I kind of give him a little bit of a crack the other day, and I said, yeah, we'll give you some camera time whenever we want to see who's ever towards the back of the field. Well, he might have taken that a little personally. He's driving with some purpose tonight, HD.
He might be the Marcus Ambrose of this group.
I tell ya, boy, he is whipping that car around.
He's doing a hell of a job, but let's go back here a little bit farther, because it looks like the 88's under a little bit of pressure by the 37 of Pro Viper as they come out of the chicane through turns 3 and 4. The 88 of Dohar able to get a decent exit, though. He's going to extend that lead to about 6 car lengths in front of Dohar. Might be, I don't really know, that might be the 21 of JCX12, I'm thinking.
Yep, kind of looks like. I don't think that's the 22, or the 12 rather. Yeah, it looks like that's the 21 of JCX12.
Yeah, behind these guys is spread out just a bit now. Dohar was under pressure, but let's see what happens through the road course person. We know he's solid on the oval, but coming through the road, looks like the 37's able to close the gap just a bit, down to about 3 car lengths now as they go through this sweeping right-hand turn.
Yeah, that inner loop is a huge turn. Me and Knights and More Smoke and Natty Dread, we actually all went to the Roval last year. Sat up in the stands at the exit of the inner loop, and I tell you what, that is a huge sweeping turn coming out of the inside of the track, getting back onto NASCAR 1 and 2, and tell you what. It's really hilly. You don't really see the elevation change as much on the game as you do in person. There's actually a lot of elevation change at the track for real.
Yeah, 37 kind of scrounging his chances right there to get by the 80 to Dohar. Got a little loose on the infield part. Dohar able to separate himself big time. But moving up to P2 to battle for a P2. This is the Aviator. He's got sole possession of it, but that 24 of Kobe is lurking. One mistake from the Aviator, he's going to find himself under heavy pressure behind that 24 of Coey. No one in sight.
Now, I think if the 24 of Coey is really going to catch the Aviator, it's going to be because the Aviator make a mistake. And if he drives as he did the other night during the Xfinity race, I don't think Cody's really going to have much of a chance in catching, let alone passing him. But I don't think anybody's really going to have anything for this 20. It looks like 20's. He's just putting on a clinic. He is smooth through the chicanes. He's getting his braking points. He's not hitting the outside wall. Getting back under gas. He's driving a flawless race so far. That car looks like it just came out of the showroom.
If he doesn't lag out, he's got it. I'm not even going to look at the 20 the rest of the night, honestly. The dude is just in a whole nother zip code at the Roval. I'm going to get back here and watch some of the battles. Maybe a couple people we don't necessarily talk about a whole lot. Quite interesting, though, what happened to Rowdy. I mean, he was close to Cohen at 24, but, I mean, he's barely even in his sights right now as he enters down into the road part. This hard left-hand turn with the little sweeper, with the sweeper right coming up just after.
Yeah, when I was keeping an eye on the 24 earlier, looking back from his hood, it really looked like the 13 of Rowdy was very, very loose. I'm guessing the last changes that he made after that stage break really didn't agree with the car's setup. Maybe got a little too low on the wedge, maybe a little too high on the right rear. Not quite sure, but the 13's got to be waiting on that green flag pit stop to tighten its car back up.
Yeah, riding along with the hood of more smoke as he comes to the infield part, getting ready to go back out onto the oval. There's that 95 of Kamal right in front of him, the Toyota Procore Camry that is onto the road part. Kamal able to get a decent exit. He's going to launch off, get about over a 5-car length lead on him in front of Kamal. Looks like it might be the Tua Stout Whiskey.
Yep, that is the Tua Stout Whiskey in front of Kamal. Behind More Smoke is the 8 is Smitty, and then you got Augustus back there as well. I mentioned earlier that More Smoke was kind of in an area that he wasn't very familiar with. He was sitting mid-20s. Right now he's up to P12, and he actually just got by the 95 of Kamal. So it looks like green flags are going to be kicking off right now as Kamal's going to pull into the pits.
Yeah, he got by Kamal, but here's the 8 of Smitty trying to dive it down into that hard left turn. Thought better of it, checked off of it. He's currently sitting about 2 car lengths behind this 42 of More Smoke. And Pete, after seeing the 95 pit that time by, if I'm a More Smoke, I'm going to be coming down right after him. I think this is your race to be able to gain a couple positions. You might even be able to leapfrog that 2-car Stout Whiskey as the 42 slaps the inside wall.
Yeah, 42 slapped that inside wall pretty hard. That's something that I've seen a lot of people do, is kind of misjudge those corners, really turn in too much, and hit the right side of the car and bounce off. And you got to really hope that you don't lose control. But with Kamal pitting, that put More Smoke up to 11th, and I was waiting on a lap count. Looks like they're at 35 of 54, so 19 laps to go, HD.
Yeah, there's a good little battle going on right here with the 22 of J-Paul. 38 of Mountaineers. They collect each other. J-Paul touches his door, throws Mountaineers up into the wall. Mountaineers get stuck there. J-Paul moving along like nothing happened.
Yeah, J-Paul's the only thing he's doing right now is looking in that rear. Want to see anybody? Whoa, up on 2 wheels for the 22. Now he's going to catch that course penalty. No, the game let him go as you see the 40 of Outlaw get by him.
Yeah, 40 Outlaw able to get by, but my eyes are on the 42 and the 8 of Smitty because they are still going after it. 42 slapped the wall, coming out of the last chicane down the front stretch. 8 of Smitty able to get a huge run on him. Not able to make anything happen that time by, though. But the 42 of More Smoke slowly closing in on the 2 of Stout Whiskey.
Yeah, he's a little under a second behind the 2 is Stout, and back to Smitty about a half a second. So I think Smitty's actually cut him a couple breaks going into that hard, right-hand turn going into turn 1 a couple times. But I think they're all about keeping it as little contact as possible. I think it's gonna get really, really racy after their green flag pit stop, HD.
It's gonna get extremely racy, and the 2 of More Smoke is definitely closing in because he's about 2 car lengths away now. And something interesting, Pete, we didn't really mention it early on because all the extreme technical difficulties and whatnot. If you're going down pit road, I think you could be down below on the apron as you come into turn 3. Is that correct?
I think they're actually letting him pit right off the track, just really being very, very careful. and then merging in. I could be wrong. They've been going back and forth a little bit all week long on Discord and chat, so I can't be 100% sure.
Well, I'll tell you what. You say they can go off the track. I say they go on the apron. That's at least why one of us is right. One of us will be right. I'll take
We're covered.
One of us right
we're,
compared to none of us right. That's a better 50-50.
We're winging both options.
I don't know what's going on, man. I couldn't even get my stream going right to begin this thing.
That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, the 42 and the 8 are still battling. Actually, it looks like the 2 Stout Whiskey's been able to get a little bit more of a gap between himself and the 42. Kind of working my way through the field a little bit more. Looks like, let's take a look. I'm trying to catch up with Jose 720. Like I mentioned earlier, he's back in the car this week. Finally caught up to him. He's coming to. He's actually going into NASCAR 1 and 2. He's gonna head down that backstretch, getting into that really short chicane.
Yeah, I got my eyes on him right now. He's got heavy front end damage on his car, but no one in sight, no one around him. I think he's just cruising. He's logging laps again. Finally back after moving, getting his internet situation all figured out. This is a track I'd probably take off another week, honestly.
Yeah. But points are points. You never know. People have issues. Others wreck out, maybe not finish. Who knows? He might pick up a few. And with the change that they had in the stage points, it's not only the top 7 that get those extra bonus points, it's the full top 10. So, hey, you never know. You might pick up an extra couple.
Yeah, CJMX Rose going down pit road right now for his final pit stop of the night. Only green flag pit stop of the night because stage 1 and 2, no pit stop was needed as laps are winding down here at the Charlotte Roval. Got to be under 15 to go, Pete. If we can get a confirmation on that, it'd be great.
Yep, as soon as either More Smoke or Carroll pass the start-finish line, I will absolutely get us a lap count. Last time I saw it was 19 to go. With this track, you're looking at about a minute 15, give or take. So we'll see here.
Oh, the 12 car Knights gets wicked loose. Out of that sweeping right-hand turn on the inside, he taps looks like the 38 of Mountaineers. I could be wrong, but Mountaineers just chugging along like nothing happened to them. Knight losing at least one spot.
Yeah, they've got 16 laps to go. So I'm wondering, the first 2 stages, I think they're like 15 laps. These last bit, they have to go 18 laps. At least 19 laps because Kamal pit first. So I'm kind of curious if they'd actually be able to make it or if they've got to pit one more time for just a splash. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
I mean, if it is one more time, and let's say CJMX Rose didn't save enough and he's got to come down for a splash, and maybe like the Aviator went one lap farther and he was able to save, maybe someone else picks up a win off of strategy. And Pete, you know who's good at strategy? That 88 of Dohar.
I was just watching that 88, and I was thinking about him as you were talking about saving gas. The two kind of go hand in hand, just like J.R. Horn. Man, they are masters at saving gas, and it seems like they can do it at just about any track. So, hey, you never know. We might be talking to the 88 later on as we talk to our top 3.
Well, he's definitely going to make it because he's coming on pit road right now, and so is a few others. So if CJMX Rose can't make it, it'll be interesting to see how far Dohar fell off the pace, able to make it on this fuel strategy, or B, if Rose even needs to pit. We don't even know if he needs to pit. We're just winging up here. Dohar, though, looks like with a speeding penalty or a full service or something, because that car that pitted with him well out before him.
Yeah, he's well out before him, and we were talking about the one car, God Power, earlier. He is retired. That car is beat to shreds, sitting on pit road in his pit stall. Don't see any of his crew around. That car's done for the night.
Tough break for him because he was definitely running inside the top 5. Sorry for the yawn. I'm tired, man. I'm working 12-hour days. Woo!
Oh, I know, buddy. I know. I'm kind of back up with this 24. He is really caught, and he's applying a little bit of pressure to that 48. 48's got to be worrying about the 24 of Coey in his rear view. Coey's got to be trying to apply that pressure, see if he can't get this 48 to make a mistake as they come through the last bit of that chicane across the start-finish line. I'll get us a lap count here as soon as Amore passes that, which right now he's running P11, and for all those Carroll fans out there, he's actually made his way up to P16 right now.
That's a good solid run for Carroll, man. I think if he gets a top 15 as the 40 car of Outlaws spinning around here, shouldn't hold any of these guys up between the 48 and the 24. But yeah, Coey is closing in, and look at this right here. He's going to close a lot because the 48 Aviator got wicked wide there.
Yeah, I mean, you see the wheels on that 24. You see the rear end sliding around just a bit. He is hustling that 24 as much as he can, trying to close up on that 48 as much as he can. And he's got to be trying to get inside the head of this young gun, Aviator, just 16, 17, 18 years old, something like that. And actually, you know what? I'd like to actually take a second to congratulate the 48. He put in the NNR Facebook Cup chat earlier. He was accepted to the Jacksonville College on like an $80,000 scholarship with big accolades and all that from the staff of the school. Really talking about how well he described himself, put himself out there, and how he is the kind of student that the school is waiting to catch up on, or waiting to meet. So big congratulations to the 48 of the Aviator.
Oh, definitely, that is huge. I mean, $80,000 scholarship. Good Lord Almighty, that's a lot of money. But as Aviator getting back to the race, though, Aviator got wicked loose there on the infield part. Kobe closing the gap. That much more on his bumper with a lot of lap traffic ahead, Pete. I think that's going to play havoc.
Yeah, if the 48 is able to close in on this traffic, the 24 is going to push him. The Aviator's got to know that he's there. These two have been battling back and forth. Looks like the 48 got into that braking zone a little bit better than 24. 24 is up on the turtles. These lap down cars are actually going to let them go, so they're not going to get into the mix much. Looks like the 4 Natty Dread's going to duck in right behind the 24. 24 is going to try to keep set sail for that 48.
Maybe they're letting them go because they're saving. Maybe they're trying to stretch it if it is going to have to be one more, splash and go situation. Interesting to see as it develops. Pete, do you got a lap count? And B, do you got a fuel count on Amore?
I can absolutely check that. Amore right now is running P10. He's actually running right behind the 21 of JCX12, and Ingall sitting there in P8. Stout Whiskey P11. Smitty running in 12th. Amore is coming through NASCAR 3 and 4. He's going to go through the front chicane, cross the start-finish line, and I'll get us a lap count and see how he's sitting on fuel as soon as I can.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, if he switches over to fuel, I want to see. I'm curious if these guys are going to be able to make it to the end.
Yep, they've got 12 laps to go, and Carroll right now is sitting on 9 laps. So I'm thinking these guys are going to have to take a splash.
So, yeah, strategy looks like it might be in play here as the 6 Ahita Snowman gets inside of the 2 Stout Whiskey. Both keep chugging along, though, as the 2 Stout Whiskey gets wicked loose there, Pete. And what I'm seeing coming out of that first sweeping right-hand turn, these guys get on that rumble strip. That back end of the car wants to swing all the way out, gets loose. So far, everybody's been able to control it.
Yeah, so far, but the guys with the damage, those are the ones I think that are really trying to push their car to get every bit that they can out of it. Amore still hasn't switched up his menu yet, so I'm not quite sure where he's sitting on fuel, if he pitted after Carroll, before Carroll, what the deal is, but it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. But Carroll is definitely going to have to pit.
Yeah, I don't know where he pit compared to the leader. So he's about 3 laps short compared to everyone else. Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Not quite sure. He's staying on that menu. He's still sitting there in P10, JCX12 in front of him, and now it's actually Dan the Lawn Man having a good race right now. Dan's sitting in P8.
Where's old Dan Lawn? I haven't really talked about Dan the Lawn Man in quite a while.
No, he's let's see, he's about 5 seconds ahead of a More Smoke. So, yep, and it looks like the 9 of Carroll is going to the pits right now. He's taking a half a can, repairing his damage, no tires. So that's the gamble that Carroll's going to be taking.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a gamble. I mean, I imagine tires aren't too bad here. If you can get a percent count on his tires, that would be actually pretty handy as well.
Okay, I'll see the way. Well, I'll tell you what, half a can repairing his damage was a 10-second stay in the pits. Let's see. As soon as he comes out. Nope, he hasn't cycled his menu just yet, so I'm not quite sure. But I can tell you that on his track map, that 20 is still your race leader.
Oh, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to talk about CGX Rose the rest of the night until we interview him later for the. God, I got the goddamn hiccups right now. I'm trying to get rid of them.
You asked about Carroll's tires. He's at 80 and 71 on his rights, and about the same on his left. So you're seeing the even wear. That's why he didn't take any tires.
Yeah, I'm trying to mute myself. I persistently have the hiccups right now. I'm trying to. Oh God, trying to burp through them or something. You take it, Pete.
Yeah, I talked about a second ago about the 21 of JCX12 running ahead of a More Smoke. JCX12 was just head on into one of those outside walls. The 42 was able to get on by. He's going to go into the inner loop right in the middle of the backstretch, taking the turtles on the left or on the right, hitting them on the left now. Going to go into NASCAR 3 and 4. As soon as he does that, that's actually moved him up to P9. He's coming through 3 and 4. He's going to hit that front stretch inner loop. Get us a lap count. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be right around 9 to go. 9 laps at this place can seem like an eternity. Yep, exactly 9 to go. His last lap is about a 1:18. So he's about 3 seconds off of what he would be on brand new tires. So this track absolutely takes the good out of those Goodyear Eagle feel goods.
Yeah, I'm still hiccuping. I'm trying to get under control.
Yeah, I can hear you.
The 37 of Pro Viper and the 88 of Dohar 40 of Outlaw having a great race up here. As I was spectating going to the road course, 37 is going to pick up a spot there. So is Dohar.
Sounds like your voice is cracking all over again. Let's see, catching up with the 6 of Heated Snowman, and then the 00 old buckshot numbers of Augustus. There's the 9 of Carroll, still working my way through. Looks like the 71 of Striker just tapped that inside wall again, turning into the inner loop corners just a little too soon. I know I'm probably getting ahead of you, just kind of talking myself through. There's the 11 of Ingalls with no challenges around the track whatsoever. The 14 of Nightfall, he's been in the pits. It looks like he lost connection very early into the race. He's going to lose a ton of points, especially after these stages. Caught up with the 95 of Kamal, no challenge. I'm right back with the leader, CGMX Road. Like you said earlier, there is no challenge for this guy tonight. Looks like the 4 Natty Dread is actually just going to pull over, let that 20 go. So that's going to put at least the 4 of Natty Dread 1 lap down, if not more. And next car that the 20 is going to try to lap is going to be that 19 of Silent Killer. Still working through.
Yeah, I'm trying. Jesus.
I got you, buddy. I got you. I'm actually up with the 48 of the Aviator. I don't see the 24 in his immediate view anymore. So it looks like the 48 has either been able to get away from that 24, or maybe at some point I missed it and the 24 has gotten by this 48. I don't know. I'm looking at the front bumper cam of the 48 as he heads into NASCAR turn 1 and 2, getting ready to head down that long backstretch just before the backstretch chicane, and I think I actually see Coey up there. If I'm not mistaken, Coey right now might be running P2.
That'd be a great run, actually.
Oh yeah, that would be a great run for
right here. Well, Aviator's coming out for his green flag pit stop, so green flag pit stops are definitely on the way, and I think these leaders are going to have to pit. The question is, did someone save enough, and if so, can they bypass CGMX Rose for the race win?
I don't think anybody's going to catch Rose even with a pit stop. Rose is going to pull in, grab just enough fuel to make it to the end. I think he's really going to retain that lead. Yeah, you can save some gas at a road course, but I don't think you're going to be able to save 4 or 5 laps, which kind of seems like what was needed. I've been on the 71 of Stryker for a little bit as he's trying to chase down the 6 of Heated Snowman, but got into that inside wall again. Now I'm on the 11 of the young gun Ingalls. He was saying earlier that if he could stay consistent, he might have had a car to really contend for the win. But right now, it doesn't really seem to be, as we are at 5 to go, and a more smoke right now is running P6. I'm not quite sure where he stands on fuel, but if he's going to have to pit for fuel, it'd probably have to be within the next lap or so.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised he hasn't switched over just yet to look at the fuel situation. But yeah, I mean, without a doubt, I think fuel save or not, that 20 car is just on a tear. He's just so fast in a whole nother zip code compared to everybody else. I think he's going to go in and single-handedly win this. I think Coey and the Aviator's going to round out 2 and 3, and then from there, I have no freaking clue.
Yeah, I'm actually on the 20 right now, and the cars that I see behind him are lapped cars. So it's not the 24 Coey, it's not the 48 of Aviator. Not quite sure who's back there, but this 20 is putting a whooping on the field, as he's actually coming up on the 38 car, Mountaineer. Mountaineer's going to run the high side of the track, show respect to the leader, let the leader go on by. Rose he's got to have his hand out the window saying thank you, and he's gonna press on. 20's got this race won. Gonna keep going through.
I think the biggest question now is, can I get rid of my hiccups before the race is over? I think that's really what the race should be about right now. Can I get rid of them before CGMX Rose takes the checkered flag with 4 to go that time by?
Well, what do they say? Hold your breath, or you got to scare yourself, or something like that. I don't know, man. But hey, Mother Nature says, here you go. Let's see, the 88 of Dohar, not quite sure what position he's in. He's coming through the chicane, going to the start-finish line right now. Looks like he's behind that 38, so he's not too far behind the Aviator. Not quite sure where the 88 is. Let's see. Okay, so right now it's it is the Aviator, 19 seconds ahead of a more smoke. Then you got Coey sitting P4, a more smoke now in P6 as the 13 of Rowdy got by him. Ingalls is in 7th and Pro Viper is in 8th. So 4th through 8th is Coey, Rowdy, Amore, Ingalls, and Pro Viper. So I'd have to say right now, your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you're probably looking at CGMX Rose. You know what? I don't know who 2nd and 3rd could be with the guys that we've been watching.
Well, look on Moore's mini map. They'll tell you.
On his mini map, he's showing the 20 just now starting the inner loop. More smoke is going through NASCAR turns 1 and 2.
So CGMX Rose is your race leader for showing the 20.
Yeah, CJMX Rose is definitely your race leader, but second and third is kind of a mystery right now.
What's this John chat saying? If you got lemon juice, I know you don't. Of course I don't. Why would I have lemon juice? What do I need lemon juice for? I can't put lemon juice on a Celeste pizza. I mean, I could, but
yeah, that might be a little awkward.
Yeah, no lemon juice for me. Although I did know the lemon juice thing worked because I used.
More Smoke is just now pitting with 3 laps to go.
All right, well there it is right there. So these guys should go ahead and pick their spots back up. The more possibly might drop outside the top 10, or who knows? I mean,
this is going to shake it all up. Yes. This is going to shake everything up. I'm actually going to go back up to that 20 car to see if he's going to have to, and if he does, when. I'm watching Stout Whiskey as he's making his way through the front stretch chicane. Looking at the 19 is silent. Let's see, Jose 720.
What, 3 to go? You said?
Yep. 3. It was just 3 to go. Moore is back out on track. He took fuel only. I tell you what, his right side tires are at 36 and 27. I almost, man, that's a pretty big gamble, knowing how much these cars got to whip around, how much grip you need in order to really make some of these sharp right and left hand turns. After he pit, he went from 5th back to 9th. So you got Dohar right now running 7th, Dan the Lawn Man running 8th, Amore Smoke in 9th, JCX 12 in 10th, and J-Paw, for all you J-Paw fans, he's made a pretty good charge up through the field, although not quite sure if he's pit yet. He's sitting P11.
That's definitely a good run for J-Paw. I mean, he's back there in the 20s earlier when we asked about him, so all the way back up to P11, excuse me. It is definitely a good run as he's coming down through the bus stop, going to exit off nice and smooth through turns 3 and 4.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and catch back up to that 20 car. And more Smoke across the front stretch chicane, and that is going to give him 2 laps to go. So he's going into that sharp turn 1 left-hander right now, down the that little bit of a straightaway heading into the inner loop. As still sitting in 9th, so I'm guessing this is where he's going to kind of shake out after his green flag pit stops and everyone else's as well. Bill's World is saying, woo, Team J-Paw. I know it. Bill's World, Master Killer, Cole 315, Q-Dog, Exodus Maverick, and all these other guys that root on J-Paw every week. I'm sure he absolutely appreciates the support, and we appreciate your support following the stream every week. Absolutely, whether it's with me on Twitch on Sundays and Tuesdays, or Thursdays here with HD on YouTube, it's very appreciated. Which, by the way, guys, go look up our one and only Mr. HD Motorsports over on YouTube, or on Twitch rather. He's started up a brand new channel, just hit about 50 followers. He's our newest affiliate. Great to have you aboard, HD.
I'm just trying to stop hiccuping, man. Good Lord. I'll be going on.
All right, so
I think the race is over.
Rose actually.
Yeah, race is over.
Rose,
your race winner is going to be CJMX Rose. I guess the more was a lap down.
And guess what? CJMX Rose, the Aviator, and the 20 Poey wrapping up your top 3. Great points night for that 24.
Man,
I'm happy for him.
Finally get to interview Coey with the hiccups, though, but hey. Let's bring it back to the booth.
Yep, great race. So I'm guessing Amore's stream was running just a little behind, because I know they didn't run 2 laps that quick. I like that booth, HD. I like that booth.
Sucks I have to redo everything now, but
that's all right. You had to do it in a hurry. Completely understand. I've got to figure out my OBS. For some reason, I can only see a portion of the screen when I go to PC view. The Xbox is fine. It's just a PC. We could talk about that later, though, IT.
Yeah. One question a day.
So, yes, CJMX Rose, Coey, Aviator, Rowdy, Ingalls, JRM Dohar, Pro Viper, Dan the Lawman, Amore Smoke, and JCX12 round out your top 10. Only first through sixth were actually still on the lead lap, though. Everybody else was at least one lap down. So that is the kind of pace that 20 was really putting down on that track tonight.
Oh, he was flying, man, and there he is in the broadcast booth right now, just waiting for Coey and the Aviator to get up here to get this thing underway. And Pete, I just want to interview Coey. I just really want to say one thing, and then you just take everybody else because I'm tired of hiccuping.
That's fine, not a problem. I will take care of it. Let's see if Coey actually remembers that he's supposed to come up to the booth. I can't recall on.
There he is, right there.
Hey, there he is.
Anyway,
all right, so now.
All right, let's get this underway.
All right, we've got everybody in here.
Coey, you suck. Don't yell at me. I'm hiccuping. Pete's going to take it from here.
Coey, got me.
Yeah.
Coey, you are the man.
Hold on. Wait, I was third.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even know I got second, but I did.
Alrighty then. Well then, who's that? Aviator? Well, Aviator, you put on a dominant performance in the Xfinity. You put on a clinic there. I thought you were going to be able to transfer all that over to tonight's Cup race. Top 3 finish. Looks like your car was, for the most part, pretty clean. You and Coey had a phenomenal battle, lap after lap, for quite a few in the last 20 laps. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, the Xfinity cars and the Cup cars are so freaking different. There's no way I was carrying that amount of speed over here. But, I mean, I definitely could have done more throughout the weeks to improve my finish for here. But it happens. I didn't want to do any more, and that's my own fault. But, yeah.
You know why I think you didn't have enough time to put down all the practice that you probably needed? You were too busy rehearsing lines from Talladega Nights. You're pissing light. I tell you, that's what it was. And congratulations. I did, put a little bit of information out there about you and how proud we are of you for your scholarship letter that you got back today, Jacksonville University. Congratulations, young man. Any shout outs, sir?
Shout out to Coey. Hell of a run. My engine started dying on the last lap. I don't know what happened, but you definitely got that second place really well.
Thanks, Aviator.
Very cool.
Hell of a battle, man.
Yes, it was, and I can't say it any better. HC and I were talking through you and Aviator, the battle that you were having lap after lap, going through the braking zones, going through the chicanes, going through the inner loop. You were hanging right there with them. Man, that was an amazing example of really having to wheel a car, Coey. Tell us about your race. Congrats coming up to the booth, man.
I'm trying, man. I'm still shaking. That was the most intense race I think I can remember in a long time. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but stressful as hell. I need an extra heart pill tonight.
Well, I tell you what, we were commenting on how much it really looked like you were wheeling that car. You see the car turning to the left, see it turning to the right, really getting to the throttle through the center of the inner loop, hitting those turtles, getting a little bit of air, coming to the start-finish line off those turtles. Man, Coey, that was an amazing run by you. Congrats, sir.
Thank you, man. I mean, this is one of the first times I've ever done it at a road course, and it was 2 weeks of practice. And
well, it's
I
going to be a
helped with
great
Aviator
for you.
and Rowdy and guys on my team. We practiced a hell of a lot. think Dirty Air actually did pretty well tonight on hole.
Speaking
So
of
it
your
was,
team, what's it
was
like
fun.
having Rowdy as a new teammate?
It's pretty much the same. Rowdy's rowdy. I mean, I was trying to ignore them so much tonight. I'm just not one for putting up with all the bickering and arguing. And actually, it wasn't really that bad tonight, but they're just all that talking. And I was like, please, just be quiet. I'm trying to hit every little mark I could think of the whole night.
Well, man, you did
Really
it.
stressful.
Any shout-outs from you, league owner, boss man?
Well, since I get the opportunity, I definitely want to give you guys a shout out to Pete and to HD. I mean, you guys do a tremendous job. You make us look good, and we couldn't do it without you. I mean, I know it's a team effort, but you guys make us look good.
Well,
Thanks,
yeah,
Joey.
shout out to
It means
Dirty
a
Air
lot.
as well.
I talk more, but I've literally been hiccuping the past half hour of the stream, so.
That's okay, man. I appreciate what you do, buddy.
Well, HD, do you feel well enough to interview your young gun?
Go for it, man.
CGMX Rose. You got your ears on, bud. You probably look kind of dumb if you didn't, huh? Well, man, welcome back to Victory Lane. First time for 2019-2020 season. There wasn't a single car that had anything for you on the track. As I watched the closing laps when More Smoke made it across the line, and then Carroll, I saw that there were only 6 cars left on the lead lap. That was the kind of clinic that you put on tonight. Tell us about you.
Oh, you cut off?
I cut off?
Yeah.
Tell us about your race.
I mean, I practiced a lot, so I felt like I had a good car coming into the race. Made some good adjustments, and I didn't expect to be that much faster than someone like Aviator, but I mean, yeah. I hit my marks the whole race. I tried to minimize my mistakes, which I did, and yeah.
Yeah, I think I can see why I cut out. You were kind of cutting out right there a little bit. Whenever you'd stop talking or you're cutting out, your ring would go away. But no, I was saying as a More Smoke, which I think finished in 6th tonight. We were able to see that there were only 6 cars left on the lead lap. So that was really the kind of clinic that you put on tonight. Man, great race. Great points night for you. Locked into the chase. Only 15 races to go before that starts. You're looking good heading into the middle part of the season. Any shout-outs there, sir?
Yeah, UHD in the booth, and Coy for the hell of a drive he put on today. I was pretty impressive by him.
I've got to agree. HD. You started off pretty rough tonight.
Yeah, man. What a terrible start tonight was. Couldn't get the stream figured out. Had to redo every single overlay before the race started. Got in about a couple laps late. We don't know exactly what happened between everybody else and me ending the night with hiccups and everybody kind of not hearing everybody in the chat. What a terrible race at Charlotte Roval, man. We should stop going to road courses. It's a sign.
Well, you know what? It may have been a terrible start. It was a great finish, though. And next week, we're heading to Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. All 3 series. It's going to be a great week. Please be sure, head on over to Twitch, follow HD Motorsports, follow me. We're gonna get this done next week. It's going to be a great race, a great week of racing. You're going to see hundreds of laps, 3 different series. I'm looking forward to it already.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a blast next week, man. Make sure, again, to check Pete Sunday night and Tuesday night streaming the Truck and Xfinity League on his Twitch channel. Link is in the description. Pete, it's been another great race here in the NNR Racing League. This week was at the Charlotte Roval. Next week we go to Bristol. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be a great one, guys. And until next time, we'll see you out there on the track.